we just had a review of last week's. So now we continue with our discussion. So in this Sri Harinama Cintamani, we were mentioning also last week that these is actually a compilation of like manuscripts that he discovered. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he discovered like 32 manuscripts, and there were like 16 titles, and he said they contain all these teachings of Srila Haridas Thakura. Last time we glorified Mahaprabhu. There's only two characters in this book, Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakura. So we pray to these personalities, and hopefully by their mercy then we can understand their discussion. So now we just touch some glories of Srila Haridas Thakura. You know any pastime of Srila Haridas Thakura? In the introduction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's introduction of Harinama Cintamani, he was telling like few pastimes of Haridas. You know some pastimes of Haridas Thakura? There's like pastimes of prostitute. That's of course that's very famous. What else? Beating in the marketplace. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was telling that the authorized, it's like in authorized biography, it is said that he was really born in a Muslim like family. Some devotees are telling that he was not born in a Muslim family. He was like born in a Brahmin family or some like devotee family, and then his parents died, and then he was adopted by Muslim like family, like that. But here Bhaktivinoda Thakur said like, oh, he was born in a Muslim family. Either way, main thing is we know that who is Haridas Thakur?
Brahma.
Some say Lord Brahma, some say Prahlad.
Maybe
Or combination. Okay, we touched on that, but very important. He is Namacharya. So Mahaprabhu is actually showing through the pastimes of Haridas Thakur and through his personality, like all the teachings on Harinam. So, especially in Shikrastakam, that's actually where Mahaprabhu is glorifying Harinam. So he's glorifying Sankirtan, he's glorifying like in the second verse, he's saying Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. He said with all your holy names, God has so many names. With all his names, he's invested with his Shakti, all Shakti. And he said Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarane Nakala. There's no even consideration, really, like no hard and fast rules. Meaning, there's no consideration of when you chant or like some rules and regulation, like of how to, like to be clean on chanting like this on a certain time. Like when you chant your Gayatri mantra, there's all these like rules, right? So Harinam, there's no even this like very like they say hard and fast rules. So. But Mahaprabhu at the end he said, but I am very unfortunate. Why? Because I have no attraction for these names. And what is that? What does this mean? It's not really that Mahaprabhu has no attraction to this name. This is like Mahaprabhu's humility, and he's actually like referring to the jivas. Like the jivas, they have no attraction to the names. It seems like the holy name is so powerful, but it's powerless as far as like attracting the jivas. And why is that? Because the jivas is full of what? Anarthas and like offenses. So our Guru Varga and the Vaishnavas are telling us like, what is the solution? What is the solution to them, to this? So how the jiva can be able to really chant the names? And so, what's the solution? The solution is in this next verse.
Oh.
In the next verse, Chinadapi Sunichena Tarapi Saishana Hamanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadhari. Srila Gurudev is telling that this is actually our Siddha Pranali. Siddha Pranali, Pranali means process, and Siddha means perfection, the process of perfection. Mahaprabhu is telling us to become perfect. You chant in this way. Four qualities. This is the same qualities that Lord Nityananda, when he was bringing Jiva Goswami in Navadvip, and at the end, he was telling Jiva Goswami that, because Jiva Goswami he's asking Lord Nityananda that he said that this Navadvip, I can see that there are still many atheists, many sense enjoyers, and like living. And he says that Navadvip doesn't consider offenses, no? But then by staying in Navadvip, then gradually the offenses becomes removed, right? And so then they'll become like pure. But then Jiva Goswami says, but like, how can we be assured that we will be not like all this, like still these atheists and offensive people staying in Navadvip? Like, how can we be assured that we will not be like one of them, like the Vaishnavas? And so, you understand the question? So, Jiva Goswami, Lord Nityananda, he's saying that actually they are never in Navadvip. He said, like, they may think they're in Navadvip. So, you may be in Navadvip physically, but there's an important point that Lord Nityananda is telling, that you can also be not in Navadvip. Because Navadvip is Satchidananda. The eternal pastimes of Mahaprabhu is always there. So, he's saying that actually they have no entrance to Navadvip. They're just outside Navadvip. Maya has covered Navadvip and they're just like on the outside. So they have never really entered. I said, who can really enter Navadvip? Only those who have relation with Mahaprabhu. I said, how do you know who has relation with Mahaprabhu? You can see these four qualities. So what is that? Trinadapi sunijana, tavrapi saisuna, amanina, manadina, kirtanya sadari. So they're always engaged in kirtan. Kirtan meaning glorification of Krishna, chanting his holy names. How, in what quality? So, you know already, lower than the straw in the street. Free of all pride, right? And then, like, more tolerant than a tree. Also, an extended explanation of that. Tree is not just tolerant. Actually, tree is an example of compassion. Like, tree is very compassionate, and the example is they don't discriminate. Like, even someone who has come to cut the tree, they don't. Yeah, they tolerate, and they provide everything. So the same way, like the devotees, whether you're a demon, whether you're like a devotee, like he doesn't discriminate. He gives you all, like whatever is. He's a well-wisher, and this you can see in the life of Haridas Thakura. So, and then what is it? Amanina, manadena. He's never desiring respect and always desiring and always giving respect. Okay, so then the next question is how we can come to this. How we can develop these qualities. And then the answer is in the next verse. What's the next verse? Nadanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamai mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatid but bhakti ahaituki twai. It's like my only desire is birth after birth, this ahaituki bhakti, causeless devotional service to Krishna. And he said, Nadanam, I have no desire for wealth. Najanam, followers, or Nadanam, wealth. Janam also can also refer to followers, or like position in society, like this. So Sundarim, like beauty, and Kavitam. Kavitam means like scholarship. Like Kavita is like poet. So Kavita meaning like very very attractive to others because he's very like fluent speaker and like very scholar. This is directly correlating to the what is source of pride. If someone is rich, then there's always this pride that he looks down on people, like poor people, they're useless, like that. Even when you're a devotee, also some of these things, this causes your pride and causes your disrespect to others. When you have lots of like facilities, and you look at others, immediately you're only thinking like, he's only coming here to like use my things, like that. Useless things like this, or what else? Janam. If that also another source of pride is actually like birth. When you're born a Brahmin or like in a high caste, then you look down on others, and that's actually in the Vedic, like the Varnashram. But even another system like outside the Varnashram, they still have this like hierarchical like position in society. Like the royalties in the society. They're all mlechas, but like they're royalty. Then they look down on like the slaves or whatever. So like even when you become devotee, still some of this thing, and this is the most cause of aparad. Then what else? Beauty, and we know someone who's very beautiful, then very proud, and like they say ugly people, they never want to associate. Then what else? Scholarship. We know like when you're very scholar, you can memorize all verses, and then like you become so like proud. Anyway, Lord Brahma, he's the creator. So he's the source of all these things. Like birth, he's the highest birth because actually he's the first one born from the lotus like navel of Vishnu. Then like wealth, everything coming from him is creating. And like intelligence, his scholarship, actually all Vedas coming from him. And then what else? Beauty, of course. So he has all these qualities. These are all material qualities. These are not qualification for spiritual life. And we learned. And also Lord Brahma is our Adi Guru. So by his pastime, which pastime? His teaching, how these things is like not a qualification. When Krishna came to this world, he performed his lila. These material qualities of Brahma did not help him to recognize Krishna. He himself like was doubting. It's like, really, is he God? He's like a little kid. He doesn't even know how to like eat properly. He's eating with his left hand like this. So then he tested Krishna. You know all this story, right? So now, after that pastime, he stole the cowherd boys and also the cows. He actually like prayed to Krishna and apologized. When it is said later on, and you can read this in Navadvip Mahatmya. Later on, when he knew that Mahaprabhu would come in this Kali Yuga, then he prayed to Mahaprabhu. And when actually by his austerities and like so much like prayer, Mahaprabhu appeared to him, and he said like, I have been cheated. It's like, when you come, please give me a chance to be in association and serve you, and this time don't let me be cheated like this. So this is one teaching. In this world, there's so many things that we want everything right. Sometimes you desire like, the society must be perfect, and economic development, like everyone should have proper like government and economic system and everything. You can have all the desires. Sometimes devotees, they know this is not our role, but sometimes they sometimes get into all this talks and concerns, exploitation and like that. Of course, it is bad, but not to take all the responsibility. Okay, because really, if you want, then you can. And if you really want, make a perfect society, Krishna can arrange. You can become a Brahma in a universe, and see if you still be happy. You can be a Brahma and try to make your whole universe perfect. And see, even Lord Brahma himself said, I have been cheated. And why? Because, these are all temporary things, and you're not tasting, understanding and tasting your real relation with Krishna. So when Mahaprabhu came, before Mahaprabhu came, he prayed to Mahaprabhu. So this time, now he got a chance to serve Krishna as Mahaprabhu and free from all these things, from all the source of pride. That's why he was born in a Muslim family, and everyone looking down on him, or he's low caste, he's illiterate or whatever. But he's actually very intelligent and very humble. So it is said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's telling that he doesn't desire fame, and that's why sometimes devotees, they try to stay away from public. They stay away from public because they don't want to catch their attention, and people will talk about their glories. But Haridas, the sun, you cannot stop the sun from stop its rays. Same with the devotees. They may not desire to be famous or whatever, but automatically their fame, just naturally spread. So Haridas, sometimes he would stay away from people, but then people always follow him and glorify him. And we know that many people also envious. So we know when someone tried to show that he's an ordinary person, look, I can make him fall down. So he hired prostitute. But see, this is the power of the devotees. Lord Brahma, he was he even got attracted to his own daughter, right? With his high material qualities, he has no power to conquer Maya. So he failed. But of course, we saw this is a lila teaching. But as Haridas Thakur now, this prostitute trying to come and tempt him, what happened? That prostitute became a devotee. And if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's 2 times actually. One was the prostitute hired by Ramachandra Khan. The other one is Maya Devi herself. Maya Devi herself came and tried to again tempt Haridas. But then, in the same way, Haridas was never tempted. And finally, Maya revealed herself, and she said, I actually came here to get initiation from you. Please give me Harinam, like that. So, see, this time, with Lord Brahma taking shelter of Harinam, not only she is able to conquer Maya, even Maya became his disciple. Understand? So, we know because he's catching attention of people, especially those who are becoming envious to him, then 2 things. There's the Muslims and there's the the so-called Hindus in the caste Brahmins. They're both actually they're against each other, but this time they're kind of both against Haridas, and they're even helping now each other. These Muslims, they're angry at Haridas because he's Muslim, but why is he chanting the names of Hindu god? And then there's the Brahmins who consider Haridas like a low caste, and like, oh, he has no qualification to chant like our names of our God, like that, or he's a Muslim, so why is he like doing like with the Hindu like activities like this, and why people respecting him? So we know the story. He was beaten because like just a few days ago, Prabhuji was mentioning this story also. Like they arrested him, but they cannot leave him in jail because all the other prisoners also like chanting. So then now like they wanna, they're telling him don't like stop chanting, and so then to make everyone see, like this is the punishment for disobedience, like insisting to chant the names of God like this. Then they tortured him, beating him in how many marketplaces? 21, no? So usually like after 2-3 marketplaces, it's like every village is like there's one marketplace, so they're showing in all these marketplaces how he's breathing, and to instill fear on people, like, oh, you don't chant. But he didn't die. Already 21 marketplaces, and the soldiers were whipping him already, like so tired, and now they're afraid, like, oh, if you don't die, they may be punished. So they're crying, and we know Haridas. He was asking, what's happening? Why are you crying? See, this is the nature of Haridas. Like, he's very kind to everyone. He even apologized, like, oh, I'm very sorry. And actually he felt pity for this, like these people. And he was continually chanting. He entered Samadhi, and now they thought he's dead. Now, they don't want to bury him. Like Muslims, when they die, usually they put him, they bury them. But I said, no, he doesn't deserve that, so just throw him in the Ganga. So they throw him in the Ganga, and like a few days after, this king who ordered this punishment, then he saw again Haridas chanting. So we know the story. And from that time, he was telling, like, oh, I will like never like order like this. He said from that time they're accepting now. Like Sankirtan. So it said that very important thing. We are followers of Rupa Goswami. We say, oh, we're aspiring to be Rupanugas. So Srila Guru was always telling us, like, okay, there's a certain way, like like if you try to be followers of Rupa Goswami, then you have some person like your, how do you call that? Like your model, like a role model. So who's like our perfect example of Rupanuga that we try to like follow? Who? There's like Raghunath Goswami. So like based on how he's relating to everyone else, that is also like how we relate to them, like that. So okay, his followers of like Rupa, Sanatan. So like, what's his relation with Rupa and Sanatan? That should also be like, how we relate. And we can see Raghunath Goswami. They have very good relation with Haridas Thakur, even Rupa and Sanatan. Haridas is like their like elder, like their foster father, like this. So like for us, he's like that also. He's like our guardian. So when Raghunath Das Goswami was like a little kid, then Haridas used to visit his house. His Diksha Guru, Raghunath Goswami Diksha Guru, Yadananda Acharya, they frequently go visit Raghunath Goswami's family. They're very rich. So we know that one pastime there, that like there was a group of Brahmins, and they were having some discussion of what's the benefit of chanting Harinam. And some were saying, oh, liberation, they'll be liberated, like this. and Haridas, he said, like, that's even just like a side effect. Just by namabas you get mukti, like this. And so this mukti is not like a very big thing. That Brahmin became offended, like, how dare you, like, putting this mukti like a secondary thing, like this. So he was actually like insulting Haridas, and even the father of Raghunath Goswami became so offended, he was even fired from his job. His name is Gopal Chakrabarti. Gopal Chakrabarti, I think. And actually, because of his offense of Haridas, then a few days after, he got leprosy, because he said to Haridas, like, if I'm wrong, then let my nose be like melt, but if not, then your nose will melt, like it's done to Haridas. Well, later on, his nose like melted because of leprosy. So Haridas Thakur, later on, he met Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu visited that place where Haridas was, and that's the time when he surrendered to Mahaprabhu, along with Advaita Acharya. From that time, he was preaching. Mahaprabhu told him to preach. When Mahaprabhu was in Navadvip, and Haridas was there, then Mahaprabhu was telling everyone to preach. So we know the story of Lord Nishananda and Haridas. They were together preaching. They met Jagai and Madai. Later also, when Mahaprabhu went to Puri, then Haridas also came to Puri. When the first time Mahaprabhu came to Puri, he did not stay in Puri, because after that, he went to South India. But when he returned from South India, that's the time when all the devotees started to come to Puri. Like Swarab Damodar, Rai Ramananda, they came to Puri. Then Haridas Thakur came. It said that when first Haridas Thakur came, he would not even go near the temple, because like he knows he's that humble, like he doesn't go to the temple because he knows he's not allowed, he's not qualified. So he was like only like staying like nearby the temple. The Siddhabakul area, if you've been to Puri, that's not so far from the temple. So that was just like the beach, just like near the ocean, that area. So Mahaprabhu, he understood Haridas' humility. Mahaprabhu said, like, oh, don't worry, like, you go to the temple. Mahaprabhu also did not do like that. Because there's very important lessons here also. So Mahaprabhu, he told to Haridas, okay, Haridas, from here in this place, you stay, and daily you just look on this chakra of the temple, and that is like having darshan of Jagannath. From here, you offer your obeisances. And really, he was not going inside the temple, but Jagannath himself coming to him. Who? Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is Jagannath himself. Every day, Mahaprabhu coming to him. Every day, Mahaprabhu going to Mangalarti. And then, after there, in Jagannath temple, he would come to that place of Haridas Thakur. Already? Oh, time. So, we finish. Okay, so, we continue. Next discussion, this glorification of Haridas. Next meeting.